Welcome to Physiques by Andell. Today I'm walking you through my hamstring circuit. It consisted of about 5 different exercises. The first exercise you see right here is a glute kickback on a glute kickback machine. It's a very good machine. It allowed me to really isolate the area I wanted to isolate, which was the glutes and the hamstring tie-in. And that's the area in the upper part of the hamstring. So when it comes to any type of hamstring workout, especially if you're going to do compound lifts like I did later, you want to make sure you get the glutes warmed up properly because the glutes are going to be heavily involved in any compound lift, such as a deadlift, stiff-legged deadlift, or even a leg press. All right, so I did a few rounds. This was my third set. I did 10 reps per each leg on the set. And as I mentioned, the glutes and the hamstrings, they go hand in hand with each other as far as a proper hamstring circuit. The second exercise was a hamstring extension machine, and I haven't really seen this machine in a lot of gyms. This is a very good machine, and I started off with the dumbbell. I used a 60-pound dumbbell. I got as much range of motion as I could. Before I came up, I got a good stretch, and it really allowed me to isolate that hamstring. I felt a tremendous burn in the hamstring area, and I will definitely be using this going forward when I have my hamstring circuits. So I did about 10 reps. After I did my 10 reps, I proceeded to burn out a few more with body weight. And you also notice when I did my body weight hamstring extensions, I got a little further as far as the range of motion. Because I didn't have the dumbbell, it allowed me to get that full range of motion, and I got that even more burn in the area I was focused on, which was the hamstring. Really good superset, really good machine. I recommend it to anyone who wants to have a tremendous hamstring workout. Thirdly, I did a leg press. This was a horizontal leg press. And I had my legs elevated, my feet wide, and I focused more on the glutes and the hamstrings. Now, anytime you do a leg press, the quads are going to be involved, right? But one way you can focus a little bit more on the hamstrings or the rear part of your thigh is by having your legs higher, having them wider, and having your feet somewhat of at a 45-degree angle as I had right here. So I had 270. I got that full range of motion. As you notice, I made sure my thighs touched my elbows, then I pushed it out, focusing on the hamstring and the glutes the entire time. Really good compound lift, and I really felt the burn afterwards. This right here is quite possibly my favorite hamstring exercise of all time. Stiff-legged deadlift using the dumbbells. Now the thing I like about the dumbbells, it allows me to get that full stretch a little bit more so than if I used a barbell. If you notice, the dumbbell goes past my shins. If I had a barbell, it would be grazing my shins. And that's why I like using the dumbbell as opposed to the barbell when I'm doing a stiff-legged deadlift. And I supersetted that with alternating body weight stiff-legged deadlifts. Similar to the hamstring hyperextension machine, when you finish with a weighted exercise and you go right into a body weight exercise, it allows you to get that much more reps. It allows you to get that much more out of the circuit. All right. So if I was just to start with the body weight, it wouldn't feel that challenging. But the fact that I do it right after a challenging set of stiff-legged deadlifts with the dumbbells, I felt the burn even more. One thing you want to be aware of when you're doing these is to have your balance and not just rush through the exercise. Now, I did do a lot of circuits before this, so my balance was a little bit off. But you want to be aware when you're doing this exercise to focus more on your balance and the body part you want to focus on as opposed to just rushing through to get to a number. Lastly, I did a drop set with the lying leg curl. I sped it up and I cut half of the reps because I didn't want to bore you guys to death. So I ended up doing 100. So first I started with more of a challenging weight. I did about 3 to 4 straight. When I got to a weight where I could do for 10 plus straight, I kept it at that weight and I made sure I got to 100 reps total. So I would say the first 50 reps or so, I used a heavier weight. The last 50, I found a weight that was like that sweet spot. It was challenging, but I could still do a significant amount of reps before I had to take a break. So as I mentioned, I sped it up, and this is kind of how the circuit went. Now, as far as hamstrings are concerned, this right here is a staple in my routine. A lying leg curl machine. You can alternate how your feet are positioned. You can have it a little bit closer. It gets more of the inner thigh, a little bit wider. Gets more of the hamstring, or have it right in the middle like I have right now. It gets everything evenly. Inner thigh and hamstring pretty evenly. And as I mentioned, the main focus of today's workout was the hamstring. And one tip for you guys: when you really want proper leg development and you don't want injuries to pop up, you want to make sure you give your hamstrings and your glutes just as much attention as you give the quads. You don't want to get into that mindset of just focusing on the areas you can see, such as the quads. Make sure you train properly, and injuries won't happen, and also you'll have a complete physique. All right, see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video.